No, 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 no. This is it. It's emotional intelligence. It's reading someone on where they're at, right? And knowing what you can do.
All right, my man Jeff. Jeff is in the building. Jeff, the entrepreneur. We are live. Better than ever. Hey, man, so where you coming from again?
I'm coming from the second worst state of taxes without the weather, Connecticut.
Connecticut. Why the tax so bad over there?
Dude, I don't even know, man, but we're getting out of there pretty soon.
Yeah, where you going?
We're going to Texas, maybe Vegas, man. I don't know. This is a pretty nice setup here, man. It might be Vegas, yeah.
So you just flew in. You got here.
Yep.
You got here. What are you here for?
I'm here with my brother's business, Changing Lives Financial.
Okay.
It's backed by the Miliari Group, which is Mr. Ed Milet, and he's presenting tonight, so I'm there. You know, life is short, so you got to spend it with the people you love.
Yeah.
So, I love my brother, man, so I'm here supporting him and everything.
Hey, man, congratulations. So, look, dude, you're doing a lot of big things on the social.
Yep.
On the Instagram.
Yeah.
On the I like that, right?
Yeah, I like that.
You got the Facebook.
Yep.
You're on the Facebook. You're on the Clubhouse.
Yep.
What else you on? What else you up to?
Yeah, right now the Clubhouse is really where it caught steam. I probably should be on this now, because that one really has gotten just organic view. It's almost like I couldn't catch TikTok back then because I knew the algorithm was hot. It's so hard to grow on Facebook and even YouTube and Instagram these days because they want you to pay for the platform, right?
Yeah.
So not that anything's impossible, everything's possible. But Clubhouse is so new, there's less people on it, that I come on there with my voice. And literally, Andy, kind of what you did. When you came in and you just gave me value on a phone call and just did that first, that's what Clubhouse does. And it's really, it's kind of the key to success. Always give. And then eventually people come around to you and then they just want to know more about you. And that's really what's going on. Like, what's going on with Jeff the Entrepreneur? I started a lot of controversy on there coming on the app right away.
So, So I got an invite to the Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Right?
Who invited you?
This was
because it's like invite only right now. Eventually, it's going to be saturated, is what they believe.
I think that it's part of the deal. Like it's part of the platform to set it up in a way that it's invite only. But then one person has an invite, and the more you act on the more you produce on the platform, you get more invites.
Yeah.
But Brad Jennings.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Brad, I think that's his name. Brad Jennings or Ben Jennings, something like that. But a good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And he came in, shot me a message and said, hey, dude, I think you should get on this platform. Mm-hmm. Got on the platform, checked it out for a little bit, but I hopped off. Right. So what is the secret? What is the formula with this platform?
So, yeah, this is it. Actually, I have the tips. We have a PDF site that I have someone making for me, but I'll go through the top three.
Mm-hmm.
And really, the formula, it's funny, dude. I thought it was a dating app. So I got it late at night. I'm in bed. Someone sends it to me. Actually, one of the dudes, Jared, sends it to me, Bringhurst. I get it. I put in my name. I'm trying to do Jeff the Entrepreneur, keep the brand, all the way through of what I've built up out of that. And I spell it wrong because you can't fit entrepreneur. It's a long name on there. So I spell Cunningham wrong. So my name's spelled wrong on it.
Really?
But I jump on there. It was Christmas. I think it was Christmas Day. And this guy from Connecticut, my town, Dan and Kate, decided to do a filibuster room. So I caught it because this app's been around for a little bit.
You see, what is it called? Filibuster?
I saw filibuster room. Basically, that's like a political term when they hijack a room and they just hold it. Like if me and you said, we're going to keep this for 47 straight days and do a podcast in here.
Okay.
So they decided to do this in a room, in a Clubhouse room. Okay. And because of that, it got huge attention from the owners and everything. So, and also the invites got to people like in very social media, like my boy Grant Cardone, Dan Fleischman, all these, Brad Lee, all these big names in the entrepreneur space who are really just giving guys, all got on the platform, and it became a huge mastermind right away with everybody just answering. Basically, they have a big stage, and they have all the head speakers answer anybody's questions to help them get to $1 million. And that's really what it kind of just – there's other rooms too as well, but that's what it was. And really, the top three things you have to do, and I did it wrong. This is how I got in trouble. Because I'm a grant guy, I came in promoting right away. Hey, me and Andy got a event. It's going to change your life, blah, 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 right? And they got all like, no, you don't do that on here. And I didn't know the rules, man. I just got on it.
But who makes up these rules?
Yeah, so that's exact, dude. I'm with you there, man. So it's the moderator. So how it works.
So whoever runs that room,
Yep.
that moderator is making up those rules.
Right.
So if I host a room,
You can make up your rules.
I make up my rules.
You can
Now,
make
is the rule stated somewhere?
No, the rules aren't stated anyway. It's like good etiquette. Etiquette. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So basically, actually, I should shout out some of the moderators here. Jodine, she was one of like the main girls who had a voice that's like, she's just like that teacher mama bear voice.
Yeah.
And anyway, it was a big controversy where they shut me down kind of. They kind of put me in the stage that I couldn't do it. I had my old Instagram picture, which I changed now because I've actually taken a lot of the tips they've given me from like branding experts, right? And I've just implemented everything that I could, right? Because it's a lot of nuggets in there. You can ask wherever you're stuck and then go to the next spot. So, the one rule that they had was basically the rule of thumb is because Michael Lane, who's this multi-billionaire, Rob Moore, who's this billionaire or multi-millionaire, but in London, because UK and US because they were giving all their advice for free, then how could someone else come in there and come in and sell and upstage them? That was kind of like the thing, right? Like it just messed up the vibe and it looked bad, you know? And I didn't know that. What it was I felt intimidated, right? I'm Jeff the Entrepreneur. I'm jumping the app. I'm with a lot of big names. So I felt like I had to put out something. I started name dropping, which is never really good. You really don't want to do that. You know what I mean? But I was excited, man. I had Dana White, me and Dana we're actually going to do something in Vegas next time I'm in here. So I mentioned that. And then, dude, it's just instant connections. So like,
Gotcha.
So it's really, it's pretty awesome.
So you go on the platform.
Yep.
Got a moderator that's running the room.
Right.
They make up the rules. So this is what I'm learning so far.
Yeah.
They make up the rules. And not only do they make up the rules, a plethora of people, a large group of people can come in to listen
Correct.
to the moderator. And the
Yeah.
moderator can then choose if they want to bring up speakers to present as well.
Correct. It's just like radio, dude. That's why I love it. I always love radio. I love what you do here. This is amazing. I always wanted to be I was talking to one of my coaches, and he was like, what would you do? Why? And we'd do the 7 whys. And I said, I would actually have a morning show talking about growth and maybe money in the morning and giving away money at the end. And so right before then, he said, well, why don't you do it now? And we started streaming it on my YouTube channel called The Wake Up Wealthy. Got me up early, did it with my brother, right? My younger brother, which I love. And so that's what this is. This is radio, and the moderator is just like the DJ. And it's like the people coming in can come up into the stage like, hey, where are you coming from? Andy from that? What's your question? And then they have people ask questions in like 60 seconds to keep it organized, you know?
I love that. Now, let me ask you this. So what is the intention behind it? So like, for example, you being on that platform, what is the intention behind it? Is it just to make more relationships? Is it to give knowledge? Is it to make money? Is it to spread information about your brand, sell products? What is the intention?
All the above, except for maybe sell products because that's frowned upon. So, I mean, what I do is because my belief is if you're not giving someone, and me and Dan Fleischman were talking about this, I don't mean to name drop, but in the app, I asked him about this. I said, hey, Dan, people are asking me for a course.
Who is Dan?
Dan, he's like one of the big Instagram influencer guys. He's a guy who got the head marketing and would go to like Coca-Cola and tell them, hey, use these influencers because Coca-Cola, he was the youngest guy to do a $1 billion exit with the Who's Your Daddy brand.
Okay.
So he's a big dude in the social media space.
Gotcha.
And he's one of the ones who mods one of the big rooms, who like DJs one of the big rooms, you know?
Okay, gotcha. So now, but why can't you sell? Why can't you share about your product and service?
So because they don't want it to be like a whole, and whoever they is, it's like the room of the etiquette of the room, right? Like CEO Matty J, shout out to him. He actually did an etiquette 21 tips, right? And that's what we're turning into PDF for him. And basically you can do whatever you want, man. We're entrepreneurs. We can make our own rules, right? But really where the essence of the app works, it's almost like being a speaking stage. You know how some people don't like when people sell from stages? Mm-hmm. Same exact thing.
I love when people sell.
Dude, me too, man. Me and you. So that's why that's what me and you get along, Andy. Like, if you're not selling something, you're not solving a problem. Like, what makes me mad is I've been moderating a lot of these rooms, helping, giving advice, pouring in people with the marketing consulting that I do, right, and telling them stuff. And if they come back with that same question and don't take any action, I feel like I'm wasting my breath. You know?
Well, the thing about selling from stage, like I sell it from stage.
Yeah,
I sell a lot of money from stage.
You're doing pretty good, man.
And the challenge with the benefit of selling from stage is that when you have 100 people in the audience, 200, 50, 100, I mean, 5,000 people, whatever the number is in the amount of the audience, when they receive a lot of value from you and they say, hey, this is something that I'm interested in, this is something that I want, it's actually a disservice to just walk away and not give them an opportunity to go to that next level. Yeah. So if I'm teaching someone how to do something and they're saying, man, this is actually more than I can handle right now with where I'm at, and I taught that person specifically how to do it, but they're saying, hey, I can't sit down and do this. Like, for example, I could sit down, for example, and show someone how to spend the next 15 hours on a computer to create a website. And they're like, man, I'm an entrepreneur. I got kids. I got employees. I got my business. I got my, the PSA, the public school association, and all these things that I on my calendar. I can't sit down for 15 hours, but I do need a website. So I'll give them the option, and I say, I'll do it for you. Mm-hmm. I taught you how to do it, but if you want, I'll do it for you. I'll give it. I'll get it happen. I'll make it happen with the process that I share with you on how to do it. Right. So that person will say, man, that's tremendously valuable. It's actually a disservice to that mom or that father who's in the audience and says, man, like, I want it to be done for me. Mm-hmm. And then you just say, okay, good. I'm glad everyone got to learn how to do this. And I walk away and they're like, shit, like, I'm not going to be able to do this for, the next couple of months. Yeah. Man, and then after a couple of months, I'm going to forget about it. Then 2 years down the road, it's like, man, I really wanted to do that.
Right, dude. I wish for the dynamic of this, I disagreed with you, but I 100% agree with you, which is why I kind of got a little flack for promoting right in the start. But it was cool because then Grant comes in with his Undercover Billionaire show, right? And I actually asked Grant right after they do. So they actually put me all down in the audience. I learned a lot, man. I really did. Because what it was is I learned to really just connect with people, and that's really what it was. Instead of just coming in, and this is true for anything in life. Instead of coming in being all about me, like, I felt intimidated. That's really what it is. Like, part of me being in the studio with you, man, I feel a little, that's like natural, right? So
how do you feel?
What? Now?
Yeah. Being here.
Oh, good, dude. I love this, man. I love doing stuff like this, man. This is everything, man. Vegas is amazing, And anytime with you, dude, is always a rocking time,
Yeah. So then you're on the platform and you said Grant. So they gave you some flack for promoting. Right. Then you get on the platform. And
so I asked Grant. So I think I told you this after, but I asked Grant, hey, Grant, I know service always wins first, right? But I came on here promoting first because they asked what's everybody learned in the 12 days of Clubhouse that was on, because people are just on it all the time, right? And I asked them, what about promoting? Where's that fall on? He goes, shoot, man, I promote right away. I got to take care of myself first, then I can take care of other people, right? And I know it made half the people mad because I asked it right in front. And actually I got to give a shout out to Kurt, who's actually here. There's actually a lot of guys here in Vegas that I might link up. Kurt, Brad Hager, awesome people, awesome entrepreneurs who just want to help people. And that's the cool thing about it. So I think the deal is as long as you're helping somebody and really giving them a direction, like there's been so many free courses given away, people DMing stuff and everything. So I even took a guy, actually, the guy Don Clark asked a question. His son has a disability. He doesn't want to teach his son he has a disability. This was like one of the best moments. Comes in, asks all the moderators on the thing on how to start a YouTube channel for his son. He doesn't know how to do it. I have vid chops, Augie Johnson vid chops, and I have my own other video guy, and I knew another guy in the crowd, and we decided to get his son a basketball channel, and we're going to set it up for him. And these are like the things that like I always wanted to give back, Mm-hmm. So it's cool because he was like so thankful. He's actually in Don Clark, really good guy, man. And then this is the thing about that. People can just go on it and everything. I went into like they start the rooms, the follow and follow rooms. There was a dude, James, in there. I'm going to tell a story because this was actually last night. It was a thing. I hear him speak up, Andy, all shy, like, hey, I'm James, and I want to, I'm nervous, and I want to do that, right? And we're in a room, a follow by follow with Neff's room, right? It's just this room where
you call it follow by follow?
They're just basically trying to get followers. So everybody wants to grow on the algorithm right away. So they're actually not allowed on Clubhouse anymore, but this was the room, a whole bunch of people put it together. There's like 700 people in the room. I went in it because it was an audience, right? I didn't think I would find this, right? And I go in, to grow up my followings and see what it's about. And the kid, James, I encourage him. I go, hey, James, I was like, don't be nervous, man. We're all family here, man. Everybody's good. You can speak up. He said, well, I'm a security guard, and I always wanted to start a security guard business, and I didn't know how. And this was even an entrepreneur room. I said, hey, James, follow me, man. I'm going to be in all the entrepreneur rooms, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, last night, he comes out of his security thing. This is a true story. Comes out. I have, messages about it. And they're talking about the 3 fears of entrepreneurs and how to overcome fear, right? It's great stuff. It's like a growth-minded thing. James comes out from his thing and goes, I came in here because I saw Jeff. And he goes, I'm confronting my fears, Jeff, again. Dude, it was literally, and I was like, I didn't realize because he changed his picture, dude, and I told him a few things. And so then, so he's going to start part of the Changing Lives entourage with us, and we're gonna help him build a security card business somehow. I'm going to connect him with people, you know?
I love that. Man, you're pouring value into people. You're working with people. Now, talk to me about what's next for you. Like, talk to me, first of all, I know you're from Connecticut, right? What is it like growing up in that area? Because I'm from the East Coast. I'm not too far from you.
I know, which encourages me.
From Rhode Island, so that's I don't know, an hour away.
Yeah,
that's probably like an hour away.
Yeah.
So I was raised over there, you know, but I'm not too familiar with Connecticut. The most I know is Hartford.
Yeah.
Right?
So Hartford. I used to play football in Hartford actually.
Yeah.
Played football in Hartford team. Very small town. In Connecticut. People are, I don't know if it was like this in Rhode Island. You were in Rhode Island, right? People are very like abrupt and kind of like, you know, it's all right. It's not bad. I grew up there. I mean, the town I'm in, little town Southington, nice town. My mom and dad bought a house. My mom passed away of breast cancer. My dad did everything to keep the house. We watched it go through foreclosure.
Sorry to hear that.
Dude, it was probably the toughest thing ever. The house, actually, my goal is to really rebuild, sell that house, and move my dad to Texas. I tell him it all the time. And I know it's going to kill him because he bought the house with my mom. But sometimes, you know, when certain taxes are going on in entrepreneurship, man, you got to move out. You know about that, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I left L.A.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, dude. That's where I'm at with Connecticut, man. We're right from New York, and there's people leaving there, too, for certain reasons, you know, so.
Yeah, I think there's a redistribution of how money's flowing in the United States right now, where you got these large companies out in California, leaving California, moving to Texas, moving to Vegas, moving to Florida, and so on and so forth because of the tax reasons. Yeah. But, I mean, I think this is a prime opportunity right now. Yeah. This, like, what's going on with COVID, what's going on, I have friends and family who's been affected with COVID.
Right.
And some who have passed away because of it. So I know it's real.
Yeah.
But as far as a business, I know that this is a prime opportunity right now. Very similar to the economic contraction many years ago in 2008, 2009, 2010, where a lot of businesses were birthed. Airbnb, one of them being birthed out of the downfall. Yep. So right now, you're going to start seeing these new companies, these new opportunities, these new entities pop up, not out of nowhere, but it was like in someone's mind for such a long period of time, and they were forced to create it in the middle of the pandemic. And we're still going on. I just did a podcast earlier, a couple hours ago, where I was saying, like, hey, people think that the COVID was supposed to be 14 days, and they waited the 14 days. Right? And then they waited a couple months, but I knew from the jump, as soon as it happened, that this was a couple years. This was another 2008 taking place, but even worse because it was affecting people's health.
Right, and the GDP went down 2 months, and it was actually a recession, right? And so when that happens, and I watched that, I actually watched someone say, this is the time entrepreneurs come. So when my real estate, when nobody's paying my real estate, when the window company, the mentor, JC Tenati, great guy that I would work with, there was no sales in right then. I went back to my computer and I started helping other people. And that's when I reached back to people that I've consulted and coaches. One girl had a best-selling book. Another guy he's making 6 figures, made $22K on a big commission check. And I was like, oh, I think I could do this. And I started helping out people who were out of work, and people just started making money. And then that's when this Changing Lives entourage became, you know.
What is that?
So basically what it is you take everybody has pain in their life, right? And we all have it. We all hide it in certain ways and do it. And what I do is I just basically rebrand their message. I'm doing it now for course creators. That's where we kind of target it down. Arturo, one of the guys I wouldn't have met with you, me and you helped the guy make 10K in one day because we brought him into our
webinar.
Our webinar, and what we've done together. So, and now he has a whole other thing. So what it does is I've been working with Myron Golden, and I'm going to be doing a group consulting thing, only taking on a few people. This is what we're going to do, and we're going to actually consult them to get to, use the likes of automation, but also to fix their brand message and automate their course sales, as long as it's a good qualified course, to 6 figures, right? 6 or 7 figures. And it's actually not as hard as people think. Just at least for me, I'm very good at marketing, right? So I can bring that out for people.
You do a great job at grabbing attention.
Yeah.
Like you're constantly grabbing people's attention, and your social media account is going up. People are loving it.
That's from Clubhouse, man, though. That's 100%. All that right now is from Clubhouse, and I can't even keep up. My assistant, Ice, who I love, shout out to her, but she can't even keep up with some of the things we're at right now. Like now we're really getting a list, man, and it's a genuine list that we just gotta. I'm actually have Ice get them, and then I have Angela call and qualify them, and then I call them after to kind of exactly what you set me up to do. You know.
So what are you doing? What does that flow look like? So we talk about marketing. Like what does that flow look like?
What, to get attention?
No, not to get the attention. Like the list part, because I talk about getting data. Right.
Yep. No, you're great at it. That's what to do. That's why anybody. I mean, this is the Andy Audate show, but that's why I'm with you, man. It's the knowledge and learn the partnership. You know what I mean? And I there's certain people in life I pick. Like I know where I'm headed, and I almost feel very blessed. Like literally, I can get down. Like I worked so hard, dude. I went door to door. I did like all the same stuff that I read, and now I almost feel. I don't know if it's guilty. I feel like, man, it's actually happening, you know?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you kind of had that. It's like when you were working for Les Brown, you had to be like, wow, right?
I mean, yeah. That
for a little bit, and then it wears off, right?
It's not that it wears off. I mean, it was real.
Yeah.
It was real, but with every new level, there's a new devil, right? So every new
dude,
level.
This is what's great about you, man.
So as you progress, there's always going to be new challenges. Yeah. Everyone has problems. It's just that. So someone made a song. He said, "I would rather, if I'm gonna cry, I'd rather cry in a Bentley or a Rolls Royce."
Yeah, amen.
So I'd rather cry in a Bentley or Rolls Royce.
Right.
You're gonna cry regardless.
Right.
100%. So something happens outside of your control, you're gonna cry regardless.
Right.
So you're always gonna have problems, but as you progress, you are going to get an understanding of how to overcome these challenges, because you'll revert back to the understanding that you've overcame what you've overcome in the past.
Right.
So if you like I'm reading this book about 50 Cent, with 50 Cent, with his story.
Oh, what's the name of the book?
Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter.
Oh, I've seen it. I've never read that.
So
that's probably a good one.
Yeah. So one of the things that he talks about is the correlation between the hood, the streets, and corporate America.
Yep.
And when you're in the streets, you have a sense of like when things happen to you, it doesn't necessarily happen for your demise. It happens for your success. So if a cop pulls you over, busts you, that's what he's talking about. If a cop pulls you over, busts you, now you got to take responsibility and say, hey, man, it was my fault. It was my responsibility that I should have not gotten caught by the police.
Right. Yeah.
So now in the corporate America, when a deal doesn't go his way, he takes that same energy. Yeah. When someone else who's never had that understanding, that grit, they say, hey, you know what? It was my fault. I'm not successful. I'm a failure. And then they quit and then they hang themselves or something.
Right,
there's a bunch of stories in the middle of the pandemic, and especially this one business down in Texas, where this man essentially took a huge loan right before the pandemic to reorganize his business. And then once he took the huge loan, well, he spent all the money, and then the pandemic happened, so incomes completely plummeted. His wife was like, yo, we need money. Right. His employees are like, we need money. And then his business is like, we need money. Everyone needs money from this one person. Yeah. And then he hung himself.
Dude, that happened in our little town, Southington. Some guy, I shouldn't really say it, but the same thing happened. He owned all this real estate. Everything happened and got really, and it's crazy, dude, because the lack of the money is the root of all evil, right? Like, I always believe that, because, like, if people, you got to be okay with the mind, right? You got to get your mindset right? But once you are, you can do more with money and help people out, right? So my biggest thing whenever I consult someone is really just to generate them more money. Me and you are very similar in that same way. No, what's the numbers? Do the numbers, So.
Dude, seriously. But one of the things I wanted to touch on with the 50 Cent subject, the Curtis Jackson 50 Cent subject, was that with what happened in his past was when he was 8 years old.
Where did he grow up?
Queens.
Oh, that's right. Oh, wow.
New York. So in his past, in his past, what ended up happening, his mom died when he was like 8 years old. Okay, yeah. Right? His mom got killed. And so Sabrina Jackson, she dies. Then that pain that he had, from his mother's death, like pushed him. And now when he's negotiating a $150 million deal, if he loses it, he's like, dude, I already took care of, I already felt more pain in the past than this fucking, this little shit over here. So I lost it, I can go and remake it. But someone else who come from a preppy college or whatever, and they go through that same scenario, that's gonna be their reason that they crash and burn.
Dude, that's why, like, me trying to wake up my brother when he didn't wake up, like, literally giving CPR to my older brother who I brought up there, nothing's worse than that time. Like nothing's more fatal than that. You know what I mean? So it's like that same feeling. My mom, I didn't feel as much when I was young, but my brother, I did. And then all the dreams me and my brother had to build a coffee shop music studio, which really, I'm just really doing it like the headstone to my success. I enjoy entrepreneurship right now. I don't really want to be stuck behind a coffee shop, you know, but I love the business side of it. And I study people like, I'm writing it in a book coming out called Getting Rich in a Recession. And it talks about Ray Kroc and Howard Schultz and how I studied them and exactly how I've emulated up to, this is like living the journey of it. It's actually pretty cool. And it's funny, dude, because with everything with 50 Cent been through, right? And everything that it's what you make out of life, you know? And I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff like with Hartford. I used to teach behavioral middle school kids. I had one of the kids say, "Oh, you won't change the streets of Hartford." And I was reading an article on Tim Cook, how he did something with Detroit's streets. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I said, no, give me 20 years. I'm going to figure something out. And because of Clubhouse, I was with this guy, Chauncey Bell. This is what's crazy. It's just more connections, quicker. And he told me about something in Chicago called Sunshine Enterprises. And do you know what that is?
No.
It's a really cool program. They basically take inspiring entrepreneurs from the city who aren't like doing drugs or anything, and they put them through a 10-week course. And if they pass the 10-week course, they then get gifted tools or up to a $10,000 loan that they go rebuild the community.
Love that.
Isn't it amazing? So I actually, one of the guys was passionate on it. He's in Yorktown, Pennsylvania. I gave him the same blueprint to go to do that. And then I contacted someone to contact Hartford and duplicate the same system. And then Dan Fleischman, Cody, Clever Investor, and Joel Marion, these other guys, they own a $100 million academy. They actually,
I was there.
Yeah. Oh, were you really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's crazy. For the whole deal?
Yeah, that's how I know Dan.
Oh,
that's
so
how I know
why'd you ask me if it was?
for the podcast.
Oh, okay, all right.
For the podcast. I've done podcasts at Dan's studio.
Have you really?
Yeah.
See, dude, we gotta, like, me and you are always so going that we don't have much time, but that's crazy, man. Well, we're gonna be doing a lot of stuff together.
Dan, Joel, what is it? Is it Cody?
Cody, yeah, Cody.
Yeah,
little guy with the Lambo.
Yeah, there was a bunch of others.
So all those
Jordan
guys.
Belfort,
yep, Jordan. Yeah, he's in it too. So they said they'd gift that to everything in there, to the thing. I love your "Who's Got My Money" bracelet.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Something to look at when I'm in that.
When you're down.
That
I
mode.
sold mine, believe it or not. When I was
How
at
much
the
you sell
thing,
it for?
I think it was $10 or $5.
Love
I flipped it. You know, I was like, here's the thing. He's got my money. Let me act exactly what it is. Let's take action. You know.
Yeah, I love it.
Let me not fall. I'll be back there again, so I could always buy another one.
So as we wrap up, man, what I really want to, give me a minute on this, on the connections, because I mean, you brought up, like, I don't know, man, it must be like 50 names, maybe 20.
Yeah.
Look, in the comments, what I would like you to do, he said a bunch of people's names. He said, you said Myron, you said
Myron Golden,
Dan,
awesome,
you said Andy.
Dude, I'd even talk about
I want you to
Tyrese Gibson.
Tyrese Gibson. Put in the comments how many times that Jeff said someone's name. So if you think he said 28 people's name, put it in the comments. If you think he said 15 people's name, put it in the comments. How many names did he pop up on this on this podcast? But real quick, in a minute or less, how can I or other people network as much as you do and build a relationship that you do? So
I get this question all the time. It's very simple. Like, and listen, I'm sorry if I was dropping names. I'm more in shock where I'm at.
Hey man,
cool.
It's cool.
No. This is it. It's emotional intelligence. It's reading someone on where they're at, right, and knowing what you can do. And then it's really by taking the connection, which really what you do is you say, if there's something that you know is emotional to them, like when I talked to Tyrese, he has something called Voltron Travel. He just bought, right? He bought a travel agency. When you know something about someone and you know where they're at, like, knew you went to Les Brown, it means something to someone. You did research, right?
So you understand them emotionally,
right.
What else?
And then you provide the value you're going to provide for them, whatever it is, right? And then you do basically a subtle call to action where basically they'll say, hey, do you have a card? Hey, we'll do that, And energy, you taught me this. Energy is a currency, right?
Energy is
a currency. Dude, you've taught me so much, man. So literally, there's no bigger name to drop than Andy Audate, dude. The whole world's got to know about Andy Audate, man. I ask people. I'm serious, man.
I appreciate you, brother.
Dude,
man.
I want to be your biggest megaphone going forward, man.
I appreciate you, man. And we're going to do big things, man. Thank you for being on the show, my man.
Dude, thank you. This went fast, man. Because I have to. Dude, you're awesome, though. I think this is good.
This is amazing. Man. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'll see you on the next time on The Progression Show with Andy Audate. Thank y'all.